let's go to the Super Bowl. Guys, can you pull up a couple clips for me? Nick, I was on the sideline for these throws, and I was just praying you would make them because we couldn't stop anything. We needed you to score. I don't know if you remember me walking around. Do you remember this, the week of the Super Bowl? Me walking around and asking every offensive guy, including you, how many points can you score this week? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How many points? Let me ask you this. As we set these plays up, what did you think it was going to take to win that game? And was there a number in your mind? Like when you watch that defense where you're like, hey, we could score 30, we could score 41 points. Or was it like, it's going to be a tough day at the office, but we have to do these specific things?
You know what? I kept it pretty simple. You're a dad, I'm a dad. We try to teach our kids things. They don't like to listen, right? But they'll listen to someone else. We did the same thing when we were kids. I mean, your dad knew what he was probably talking about, because he did it at such a high level, but you probably still didn't listen.
Yeah.
I was the same way. And going into the Super Bowl, I took a lot of what my dad taught me as a kid and put it into play and kept it simple in the sense of this. My dad always told me, never look at the game clock, never look at the score, play as hard as you can until that clock hits 0 and just see where you stand at the end. Because he didn't want me to change the way I played based on what was going on with the score or what was going on with the clock. Because we all know that there's been teams that have huge leads that feel comfortable and stop playing and stop executing.
Yeah.
So the way that worked for me was the only thing I looked for was the shot clock. And that was it. And then every now and then you see the game clock, but I wasn't really consciously thinking about that. I was just thinking about execution of plays. Hey, Doug calls a play, execute this play. Doug calls a play, execute this play. Understand what the game situation is. Like I remember going to Doug at one point, I think when we got the strip sack from BG and being like, hey, what are we thinking here? Because there's like a couple minutes left. We're up. Like, are we wanting me to like milk the clock in the huddle? Or are we wanting to be aggressive and score? Like, what are we wanting to do? He's like, we're going. So that was the one time I remember like sort of like conferring with Doug, like, what is the situation? Other than that, it was just execution. And then I just remember looking up when the clock hit 0, when that ball hit the ground. And that was the first time I felt like I like took a breath and just like let everything relax. And not like I wasn't tense, but I was in this like flow state of just playing ball and just like mentally in such a good position to play the game where it was like peaceful, but aggressive. And at that time, I just let everything relax and be like, it's done. We did it. We executed. We scored 41 points, and that was what we needed.
That's exactly what we needed. And your answer, I think, was 35. I think you were trying to just be like, hey, fuck off, Chris. Like I'm trying to get into a flow state and not look at anything, but I'll give you a number. I think most of you guys told me in the 30s, which I thought would be enough.
I'm sure.
I thought would be enough, but we really, it was down to the wire there.
30.
All right, so pull up this play. I want Nick to see this play. Okay, talk me through. It is, what is it? 3-3. This is early in the game. All right, roll the tape, Cowboy. You can see it, Nick. Right here is a touchdown. I want you to talk me through your thoughts on this play as it's happening.
Yeah, this was just, I forget what we call it. It's probably double post, wide deep cross. You can see pre-snap man coverage. Then man goes with the motion, it's man. So typically the deep cross is actually the throw.
Right.
But I also am a player that plays with instinct and gut at times. And my gut wanted to throw Alshon a sort of lean it post, which is he keeps it thin because it's man coverage. And then as you see at the top, he sort of leans away and creates separation and makes an amazing catch. But if you're like a coach and you're watching this and you're teaching this, you're probably telling your quarterback, you're going Nelson down to the back right now. Like that's your throw. And you potentially, if the safety cuts Nelson, you have another cross coming the other way. That's a man alert. But I would say the lean at post is not high on the list. And so this was just gut instinct, trusting a player, feeling it, and then Alshon making like
spectacular,
one of the most amazing catches you can. I mean, like let's keep it real. Like it was a good throw. Line did their job. all this stuff, but like that catch is unbelievable. And the fact also, like, he's sponsored by Jordan Brand and he's up in the air with his Jordans making this, like, that brand is doing so well, and then now they're doing even better. So that's just playing good ball. That's just teammates. That's just a lot of fun. So probably
it was something that gave us confidence, Nick.
It worked out.
Nick, that gave us confidence. It was like, oh, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Okay, put it to the next one. This is 4th and 1, second quarter. I know this play. This is the Philly special. So pause it right here, Cowboy. And this goes back to, like, I've heard a story where when you came in that year, Doug was like, what do you like running? And this is the culmination of that. It's like, hey, 4th and 1 in the Super Bowl. What do you guys want to run?
Yeah. This is, I think in this situation, right before this, so there was a timeout. We had, I don't know if you remember watching us all week in practice, but we had a speed option from the shotgun. And every time we butchered it, and it was awful. So that was actually the play that was called. And then we called a timeout. And I ran over to the sidelines and asked for Philly, Philly. To this day, I have no clue why I asked for Philly, Philly. Because it's Philly special. I've thought NFL films, like, and now with artificial intelligence, I know that you can create voiceovers and stuff. So there's part of me that thinks that could have happened, but in reality, my brain was just probably in a weird state, and I said Philly, Philly, and now we have the Philly, Philly dad hat line and clothing line. So this is perfect.
We do.
But yeah, I mean, when Doug and I talked about this, because we were going to rep this against the Vikings in the NFC Championship game, but we decided not to, and I just threw a touchdown to Alshon, made it easy, got to save the play. We were going to run this second half to go up by 2 scores, not first half to get up in general. But I ran over there, and I think that situation where I'm asking for the play from Doug is a culmination of, like, you know, when I was drafted, Doug flew to Austin, Texas to work me out at Westlake High School. That was the first time I really got to build trust with him. They draft me. He's my quarterback coach. Then I come back to Philly, and I'm the backup quarterback. And then everything that happens, I go over there, and Doug trusted me enough because he knew me enough to know, like, Nick is feeling this. Let's execute this. Because he could have overrode this play call. But he pauses, and he said, let's do it. And then we run this. And I remember going up there, you know, we had a shift. We had to have like some acting that took some time, like right here. And lane was the trigger for Kels to snap the ball to Corey. And then, you know, Trey makes a amazing throw. I mean, people don't realize, like, Trey made an awesome throw that made it easy for me. But I was just worried about this DN right here. But the second he went down and I paused and I was out, I was just like, look this ball all the way in and just catch it and tuck it and score. And I didn't realize what this play would be for the city of Philadelphia or even the NFL. I just realized, like, man, this play worked to put us up on the Patriots going into halftime,
which is huge. And
yeah,
and it is good acting, buddy. And a great catch with the whole world watching. Brady didn't catch the ball when they threw it to him. That's neither here nor there. Nick, do you remember when we were getting ready for this Super Bowl, going to do walkthrough at the stadium, and we were running a bunch of fake plays? Do you remember this? And I came up to Doug and I'm like, what the fuck is this play, Doug? And he's like, oh, we're not running this play. He's like, we're worried the Patriots are up there in the bleachers somewhere. Like, or they're hiding in the stadium.
We had like 13 guys on the field and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
So you remember you guys ran a couple fake plays.
Oh, dude, we had 13 guys in the huddle, and we knew what formation we were making, but then we're like, just line up and do something random so we could run our plays, but it didn't look clean because we had 13. I mean, we were shredding papers after every meeting. It was crazy what we were trying to do, and they like getting every advantage they can. But fortunately, this play worked well and helped us out a lot. And
that worked out well. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the third quarter.
It was a good play.
Let's go to the third quarter. I think we'll keep it 22-19, 7:25 to go. Mm-hmm. I believe we got another touchdown here. It's 3rd and 6. And if this is the ball,
this might be Falcon Stiffy.
Yeah,
Falcon Stiffy, baby.
Falcon Stiffy. Okay, so walk me through Falcon Stiffy, including, like, Corey's not that open, and he's waving his hand like he's naked.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he's a rookie, right? He's a rookie at this point, right? So, you really wanted man coverage versus this. And so I start my progression right to left, keep my eyes normal for the play because it's a typical play we run all the time. We want to get the safety out of the middle and really just get a one-on-one with Corey.
Yeah.
And so I drop back and I look, and then when I peek at Corey, I see like basically triple coverage. I'm like, oh man. But if you watch closely, the defender has so I'm just totally in like my subconscious thought. There's like a slight little stumble for the defender that maybe slowed him down 0.1 miles per hour. In my body, like I'm not going to throw it. And all of a sudden my body triggered and threw the ball because I saw that and I just threw it. And then, Corey makes a great catch. There's 3 guys around him. I think I had a fellow Arizona Wildcat on him, Flowers. Sorry,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah. Sorry.
But Marquise.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, look at
McCourty
this.
shows up kind of late, where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, and the ball's probably already gone.
Yeah. So, like, look at my eyes, like, starting right, keeping it normal, look down the middle, find them, and then just like, there's a split second where it's like this look. I mean, it doesn't look good. Even when it's caught, it is not clean at all. But there was something inside me that felt, yeah, he was in bounds. They looked at that thing a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Nick, I tend to agree. Okay, hit the next one here. We got the 4th and 1, and this was the biggest play of the damn game. And no surprise you go to Ertz, but talk me through the thought process here.
Yeah, this is Maestro. So left to right read, really built for man coverage. You have a zone read, but so we get this, and I remember dropping back, and your first read's the back, and we hit a big play to Corey Clement earlier in the game, but they end peels, then the next is the shallow, so the cornerback drops off. So Ertz is like open for a split second, but if you look at it, I get pressure, so I got to sidestep left, put it on him. He makes a great play. Fortunately, he's a yard past the line of scrimmage. I mean, like you said, this is like one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl because New England gets this play right here, ball game's over probably.
Probably. I mean, we were all puckered up on the sideline, and you can see, the end peeling with the back. And if you have more time, maybe you could hit him on like a wheel or something. But Ertz is the guy.
But Ertz does he does such a great job. If you watch him, like sure-handed, but watch his route.
Yeah.
So Trey's running, or no, it's Selleck. So Selleck's running. Ertz does a great job of sort of lifting his defender and then cutting flat. Like, look here, lift him, boom. And then that's because of obviously Selleck being a very savvy vet, great tight end, but then Ertz and him working together to make this happen naturally and knowing it's man coverage. The only person that could mess up the play fell off it, but Ertz made a great play and we got enough for the first down by a yard.
And then we've got the final nail in the coffin here, 32. Well, yeah, we're close here, but 32 to 33. This is the go-ahead touchdown, 3rd and 7 on the 11-yard line.
Yep, we're basically sending the back in motion. It's if you have numbers to the back, it's really like a bubble screen, but you're really trying to push the whole defense to the right and get Ertz, one of your best route runners, most sure-handed guy on a lesser defender and having him run a slant.
Yeah.
And what happened is I think we barely got this ball off with the shot clock. And, I look and just Ertz makes a great play. He's so open. I threw him like a really clean softball. I did not fire this thing in there. Very, very catchable ball. I know that like at the end of it, he took like 3 or 4 steps and dove in. The ball popped out and everyone's like, is this a catch? I'm like, right. This isn't a catch. The NFL is in a weird position. He just took like 3 or 4 steps. Like this is a touchdown. Like he's over the white. Mm-hmm. But this was a lot of fun.